you is in the world. Welcome to the Gemstones podcast one more time. We is locking in for episode number 2. I am your co-host, Z Durst. I have my sister, the one and only Miss Shaw Marie. And I have my
Hey
brother,
y'all.
the one and only LP Lance Parker.
What up with it?
Tonight, y'all, we're going to have a good show for y'all again. Thank y'all for tuning in for episode 2. If you tuned in and saw episode 1, thank you.
Thank y'all so much. We appreciate it.
Tonight, we're going to have some crazy topics. We're going to get in real deep about some things. We're going to talk about some funny things, too, just what's going on in the world today. Hopefully, it brings you some gems, and y'all can rock out with us from here on out.
Okay. So y'all, who want to go first? Who want to go first with their topics?
Go ahead and start off with the funny one real quick.
I think Sasha had to pop it off.
Huh?
I think Sasha
I
popped
know
off
you
first.
had the funny in the middle, to be honest.
All right, go ahead and do your thing then, Shaw.
I mean, it's whatever y'all
Do
do.
your
Okay,
thing.
so I'll start it off. So, in recent events, I recently started a new role. And I was just thinking over the course of the years I've been in the working field and the different people I've interacted with, different people I've met, the different energies, the different salary ranges, things like that. So my topic today is bad behavior in the workplace. Associates versus upper management, directors, VPs, chief officers, and so forth. So that's my topic for today. So I want to go into this topic because, like I said, I've experienced a lot of different things in the workplace. I have experienced, so I've never experienced being harassed by a director or department lead or anything like that, but I have experienced being harassed by a fellow colleague before. And I've experienced what it looks like on both sides, from me working somewhere and making HR claims, and also me being in HR and receiving claims. So, quick little story. So recently, we ain't gonna say no names. Recently, the company I work for, a recent company I work for, had to let go of one of their senior directors because she had been with the company for 25 years. And she had a long history of bad behavior, racist comments. She threw things at her team before, anything she get her hand on, she'll throw it. Saying different things, threatening things like that. So she had a really, really long history of this behavior, dating all the way back in her file, all the way back to the early 2000s. So in recent news, around the pandemic time, this person was supposed to be let go from another COO was going to let her go, but he was just filling in for the person they was going to bring in. So once they bring the new person in, he went back to where he was stationed at. But in the documents, he was basically saying someone else had brought up allegations of her for racism. And so when he did his investigation, he stated on there, and I read it, he stated that while I did not find any proof to prove that you are racist, I 100% believe the statements that have been made by you because of your long history of erratic behavior, your long history of filing reports. And he was like, if it was up to, and this is what he directly sent her an email, and it's all the documents that we still have. So he said, if it was up to me, you would be walking out of here today. But unfortunately, he has to go by the rules or to go by the book. So he was like, but let me just say this. If there is one more thing that happened, if you so much as to raise your voice at anyone in this building, you are out of here. So fast forward, that was 2020. So needless to say, like I said, he moved on. He went, they hired someone new. So she kind of straightened up her act a little bit over that little time. So basically she got back on her bullshit 2022. So the last 2 years, she been a hellraiser. She been hell on wheels. And mind you, she was like one of the highest paid salaries too in this particular department. So she been a hellraiser for the last 2 years. So finally, this previous Monday, they fired her. And they fired her with no severance pay, no really anything unless she wanted to collect, the funds that she, 401k, whatever that she acquired. They went ahead and fired her. And of course she cried and she put up a fit and she did all of that stuff, felt like she was wrongly let go. Mm. And so with that being said, my question to you guys is, for one, have you ever experienced working with a colleague or someone in upper management that displayed this kind of behavior? And how would you handle it? Like, if you ever had a director that picked up, let's say, a water bottle and threw it at you. Because me personally, when I was reading the files, I couldn't imagine me walking away from someone throwing something at me, like a water bottle. Mm-hmm. So have you guys ever experienced this type of behavior in the workplace? And what do you think this behavior is due to? Do you think it's due to someone, letting their pay go to their head, as far as, maybe someone that's never made a kind of money, so now it's an abuse of power from the pay? Or do you think it's a abuse of power from the lack their pay? Maybe they feel overworked and underpaid. And my question to y'all is, how can we combat this issue in the workplace so that our environment is not hostile? And what are some tools that we can make our work environment more friendly? So that's my topic.
All right. You gave a whole bunch of questions right there. But okay, the first question you gave me, you said, has anybody thrown something at us before? To me,
experience any hostile behavior.
Ain't nobody throwing that to me, dog. I'm too damn big for that. Nah, I can't do it. We will have to throw hands in there. Like, I'm all about being professional and keeping it professional at all times. But you throw something, you don't pass professional. You don't went to street life now, so about to see what you about. But to do professionally, only thing you can really do in that situation is probably two things. You probably have to either reach out to HR, which, HR is sometimes your friend, sometimes they ain't your friend. They ain't really there for you. They just protect the company. Right. So you really have to look at your situation. Is it recorded? Do you have any evidence? Do you have any witnesses to see somebody that she threw it at you? Because at that other point, you can go to a lawyer too. Maybe try to sue yourself because you feeling you getting dangerous stuff at the work. She's throwing things at me.
Right. I 100% agree with that, because honestly and truly, one or two things: either I would have got fired from beating her down in there, or I would have got fired for beating her down and then sued. There's no other way around it. Nobody's throwing anything at me. So that's one thing. So, so my other question was, have you ever experienced a director that's hostile like that? So
yes.
let's go to
Yes.
So have y'all ever experienced say a director, upper management versus you or a colleague on your level, basically? Absolutely. In the workplace?
I would say this, and Zach, you hit something. I would say this. I would say as an African American male or a black male, I'm not going to say African, I'm just going to say a black male in America who's in leadership, you will always somewhat experience that from other races, and specifically Caucasian races. And they are very hostile. They will make your workplace very uncomfortable. and they would kind of operate under constructive discharge, so to speak. They would make it unbearable to breathe. You would kind of question your decision making at times. Like it's like you're playing chess. With every decision you make, you have to refer to policy anytime you send an email or anytime you do anything, just because you don't want to be on the wrong end of the stick, so to speak. When you make a decision. And it's rough. And I believe it comes from a place of insecurity. That to be like in my experience, it comes from a place of insecurity. I mean, you can't control that. All you kind of can do is just learn how to navigate the murky waters. If that makes sense, I know I keep saying that makes sense because I'm trying to say something without saying something, without offending anyone who may be listening, who may be Caucasian, may be a different race than black. But I mean, I've experienced that. I've experienced it a lot. Especially from senior leaders or executives, especially executives, they do not want to be questioned, and especially if you catch them in a lie, that something that don't make sense. You say, "Well, that don't make sense. You just said this, and this, and what you just showed us is the complete opposite." Man, you just you didn't even say nothing because now they're the target on your head because they take it as a sign of disrespect. But you're not trying to respect them. And I think what the biggest issue is, this is just me speaking, I think a lot of individuals don't understand. When you're a leader, the people who report to you, if they do a good job, that makes you look good. Don't get that, though. It's like if you're doing the job, you're outshining them. Like you're doing better than them. Like we're in competition now. I'm like, no competition. I don't want your job. You deal with most things I want to deal with.
So let me ask you this: have you ever had a leader, director, COO, CEO, anything throw an item at you? Whether it be a water bottle, a notebook, a book, like they just turn it to and say, "Get the fuck out of my office," and throw that at me. Have you ever?
I ain't had that. Now I see y'all do nothing like that. But this is what I have had though, and I would say this openly. I've had CEOs contact IT and have my emails routed to them. I've had CEOs be in the parking lot and I'll pull up and they'll call me an hour later and say, "You didn't get to work till 10, but you saw me at 7:45. I've had that take place before. And that's just like I said, being hostile. And you know, trying to have access to all information to try to catch you in something that you ain't supposed to be doing, trying to get something or some idea of what you're doing and try to, you know, take your work, so to speak. I mean, we getting this thing where people say, well, you can't take no work because you work for an organization. No, it's called intellectual property. If you have the idea and you cornerstone it, that is your intellectual property. So if you don't give someone credit for it, that is taking someone's idea and taking their credit for it. Because if you didn't give that person the proper recognition and say, well, hey, we got here because so-and-so pioneered this, or so-and-so cornerstone is, then you just took their intellectual property and made it as your own. But I've always said this to people, don't ever be afraid or take that as a slight. Because if you produced it, you can always recreate it. Those who still can't recreate, you have to deal with what you created and try to figure out how you did to make it better. Because there's always going to be some barriers or some walls you run into when you make something. But if you're the author or the painter or the artist of the art that you create, you can always recreate it, but make it even better. So don't ever be afraid of that. That's one thing I had to learn.
Okay. So I'm going. So at the end, I'm gonna give my view of the topic. So my next point was, what do you guys think it is? Is it due to pay? Is it due to these directors, COOs, or upper management making so much money they feel like they are untouchable? Is it due to authority? Is it due to them either always been in authoritative roles or have never been in authoritative roles, so they abuse the power? What do you guys think it is that embarks someone to be hostile to their employee? Someone to treat their employee like basically like a slave, and less for better words. So what do you guys think it is? Do you think it's due to their pay, or you think it's due to their authority and the role that they're in as the reason why they perform the way they do?
I would say it's due to their insecurities more so, they're insecure about themselves, so they treat you a different way. Or here's another one. They have problems outside of work, so they bring them problems to work and put them on their workers instead of separating that stuff sometimes. Like you have to separate that stuff from the house to work. Mm-hmm. They don't do that, so they try to bring their little problems they have with them over here. Right. It's like, bro, I'm not the person at home making your life hell. Don't come over here trying to make my life hell because you mad all day.
Right.
But it's a little bit of both. It's a little bit of that. It's a little bit of power control and a little bit of not knowing how to be a manager. Some people get thrown into manager stuff and they get training on how to be a manager while
they're there. Right. And some of them not the boss at their house.
No. A lot of them aren't.
Right. This is what I would say. This is what I would say, Zach and Shy. Entitlement and education. 9 times out of 10, a lot of individuals who are in C-suite positions or directors have entitlement and they have the education to have that position. And another thing that I've learned, I had to learn that going through a doctoral journey, I would say that I learned that trauma that you have experienced in your life matriculates to your profession. And I think a lot of individuals who have those leadership positions, they come from backgrounds that have some trauma, but also associated with some prejudice. And so they matriculate the association to the peripheral and they feel entitled. So you got to think, if you're an individual who may have masters, but you report to somebody who has an associates, that's intimidating. I mean, and especially if they don't look like you, that's intimidating. And even when it comes to pay, the pay is unequal too. So you got this person with a master's degree not getting paid with the person who they report to who has an associate's degree. How you think that dynamic is going to work? Now,
well, let me say to that, a lot sometimes in some organizations, it just depends on where you work. If you have 20 years of experience and you have an undergrad degree, they'll compensate you for that. Like, I have people right now that make the same amount the person with the master's got, and they don't even have a degree. But they've been with the company, or they worked on projects, or they work with grant-funded programs and things like that for, let's say, more years than the job required. And they're making, literally, I have a lady that only makes 20 cents less than the woman that she works with, and she has a master's degree, and this lady has a high school diploma. So sometimes it just depends on if you have experience in the field. And a lot of these older people that came in the 90s, where they didn't require you to have these degrees, and they've been in the roles for 20-something years. And now, in our generation, we're required to have education. We're required, but they were not. So, anyway.
I disagree with that, though. And I know what you're saying, Shah, but I want the organization. Because why didn't you require this person to get some type of professional certificate, some type of professional development certification, some type of something? Because, like you just said, in today's times, this is required. So you telling me because it's my fault because I wasn't born in the 80s or the 70s that I have to compete with someone who has 20-some years experience, but I understand IT. I understand AI. I understand innovative approaches and techniques, but the person who I report to may not. They benefit from me knowing that, and I work under them, and I'm teaching them this, and that I went to school for, but they didn't. So I disagree. I blame organizations because how can you say, oh, it's required for someone to have this master's or bachelor's or doctorate degree, but the person I report to don't? That don't even make sense.
Right.
No.
I mean, but those.
So that whole experience piece, I get it, but at the same time, why you gonna have all these people spend all this money, get into debt, go to school, and then you get out, you can't even pay it. You can't pay it back. We over here begging for
some of those wrecks and roads have been edited and redone so many times that when it first became a thing, or like say for instance, the director of Hood, right? That might have been a road that was created in 1980, but it's been edited and revised 20 times since 1980. So it might have started off as being, oh, you have to have 1 year of experience working at a homeless shelter. Now it says you must have a master's degree in a nonprofit organization. You must have 10 years of this experience. So it changes over time. So that's how a lot of these people that don't have the credentials got in, because they got in when it didn't require that, and it's changed now, which it is not fair to people that are coming up now that do have the degree. But at the same time, it's not fair to people that's been in these roles for years and they getting passed by with the person with a degree and 1 year of experience or 2 years of experience or 3 years of experience, when they've been putting blood, sweat, and tears into a company for 20 something years, and they will never make the salary, no matter what they do.
She got a point.
So I see it from both angles.
Yeah, she got a point though, because I mean, you got the experience, and maybe you started out like she said, where it was only 1 year degree or 1 year experience, but yet you got in and you elevated it where you needed all this experience to come in and take this job now.
Right, and it changed like over time, like even with anything really back then, they did not require the same education they do now. Even now, having a master's degree in a lot of places that you work, they still only want to pay you $60,000. It just depends on where you go. It really just depends on where you work, what kind of organization that you work in. Because even my own boss has less HR experience than I do, and she's my boss.
But that's what I'm saying, though. Shay. I blame the organization.
Yeah, that's true too. They have to regroup some things. But I worked in places that came off the bat wanting the education. I worked in places that came out wanting experience. Like you said, it's just based on pretty much where you work. So my last point is, how can we combat these issues? What are some tools that we can make so that we can make a healthy, friendly, and a work environment that benefits everyone, from the janitor to the CEO? What can we do? What are some things that y'all think that we could do?
There needs to be more diverse stakeholdership on boards that make decisions and policies, because what people understand, when you work for a nonprofit, no policy is approved without going through the board. The board has to also be on the same page with the executive C-suite stakeholdership to agree to the policy that's being presented before them. If we have more diverse, and I mean truly diverse, boards, then yes. For for-profit organizations, they also have boards, but some don't. If you ever go to like a hospital, and you see when they have a picture of like the chairman of this department or the board president, they never look diverse. And this is what I will say. They say, "Oh no, we had diversity. We had a black person, but that black person not American black." If you get what I'm saying, they weren't raised in the streets of Houston, Dallas, Fort Worth, Chicago, Minneapolis, Atlanta. None of that. They were raised in another country, but they're on the board. So if there's more diversity with that, yes. But that also means more people who are diverse need to seek the education to do that. Seek the education, not be so embedded with media. Be more embedded with literature. Learn more about policy. Learn more about reform. Learn more about development, organizational development. Because that's what a board does. CEO carries out the vision of the board. I want people to understand that. A CEO reports to a board unless they own the company. And then they who own the company, guess what? They have this thing called investors. That's who they report to. If the investors pull money, you don't have nothing. But people don't understand that. They think, oh, well, the CEO is just, no, they report to somebody. Politics is real when it comes to this stuff. But I think that's the first step. I think that's the first step.
Well, what I say to that point is, currently, this is the first time I've ever worked in a diverse environment. Honestly, if I'm gonna be real, my COO of my department is minority. My director is minority. My lead is minority. My team is, and we're all women at that. So everyone in my entire department that holds a title is a minority and it's a woman. So, and from all walks of life. Like, we have people from probably maybe 3 or 4 different regions of the world that are all in leadership roles for where I work at. This is the first time. Typically, I've only worked with either white women or white men. So this is the first time I've ever worked in a diverse role. But to wrap up my topic, I believe that how we can combat this behavior in the work environment is to, one, when somebody displays this type of behavior, immediately they need to be in what we used to call, some companies still do it, which is like 3 steps: a verbal, a written, and you gone. Period. It shouldn't carry on for years and years and years and years and years of the same behavior. So the next thing, I think, is an authority thing. I think some of these people have never had authority roles, and when they get in those roles, they don't know how to act. So I think that's one thing. I think team building, I think behavioral studies development goes into play. Those are all things that you can pretty much blame HR for, because it should be constant team building within your organization and behavioral monitoring in your organization. That all falls in the HR branch. So I think that's another thing that we could do as well. And the last one was, I said how we combat the issue. So yeah, that's my point of view on it. And that's the end of my topic.
Well, without any further ado, let's get into my topic for tonight. We about to talk about how hip-hop is on fire tonight, boys and girls. I mean, we got beefs everywhere, and I love it. As long as we can keep the side minions out of it and stop putting guns in the air, and it's just all about the bars, we're about to have a great summer of just nothing but beef, baby. First off, I'm gonna ask y'all opinion on that K-Dot diss. How do y'all feel about it? And how do y'all feel about the beef so far between him and Drake? And I guess Drake and everybody, because, that man is fighting everybody right now.
Well, this is what I would say. I like push-ups. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna cap. I like push-ups. Push-ups was nice. Like That was fire. I don't care. Like That was fire. But what Kendrick dropped just recently, I didn't like the beat. Neither of the beats. But the content. I mean, if you really just sit back and listen to the content, and I had to listen to it 3 times to really catch all the gems, because he dropped so much in 6 minutes and 24 seconds. Yeah, man. I'll say this, though, Z. I'll say this. As a person who enjoys music, because I enjoy music, I would say that the song that Drake made was an entertainment song. it was good. I ain't gonna cap. I mean, I liked it. It was good. It had the drums going. He had the catchy little, hooks and lines. And he had the good transition to the slow beat, and he got to doing, his thing. I mean, that's Drake. You know what I'm saying? That's Aubrey. You feel me? I mean, that's just what he do. He know how to ride a beat. You feel me? He can entertain that thing. He know how to make a beat come to life. But that man over there in California in Compton
did something wrong.
Different.
He is different.
Different.
This is K-Dot we talking about. He is a lyricist. He gonna drop bars.
Right.
I mean, that boy said
he ain't ready for sometimes, but
I hate the way he said I'm the biggest hater. I hate the way you.
And that was a tribute to DMX, that line right there. So DMX
no one caught that though.
DMX said it on the Breakfast Club when he was acting he like Drake. In my opinion, so just being real, not trying to be biased, but I don't really Drake. I ain't never really liked Drake. I like Drake music, like to ride around to, but he's not a rapper that I just listen to like that. Now Kendrick, on the other hand, like he in my top 5. Period. Whether live or dead. So I feel like his this was good, but at the same time, where is it stemming from though? Because to me, okay, we all know. I mean, we all don't know, but clearly Drake is insecure about his blackness. We know that. It just the things that he does, it shows that. But Kendrick at the same time, where is all this heat coming from when all y'all used to be friends? So I just don't understand that part.
No, they ain't. They ain't been
That was
friends.
cool.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Listen for a minute.
Yeah. K-Dot and Drake been dissing each other for a while.
Cool.
But
Kendrick done called him out on 2 BET ciphers. They've been coming there.
He has.
They just been sneak dissing.
For sure. But I think we all missing the bigger picture there. Future dropped it. We don't trust you. We still don't trust you. Album. Back to backs. Now Future's the one who low key got this all going. Now I think that's the question no one's been asking. Why is Future and Drake beefing? Because if I'm not mistaken, they made a whole album together and it was fire. And they always been on each other albums, and each song always made the chart when they were with each other on the song. So I think that's the question that people are missing because
it's over a woman.
I doubt it. They both got too many women. It's probably about something deeper.
From what I remember, it was the album you're talking about is What a Time to Be Alive, though. From what I remember, it's supposed to be over Metro. I think supposedly Drake did something to Metro, and then
Over me?
But Future said something on that first we still don't trust you though. Zach, he said you went against the gang. I can't help you no more.
That was Metro, my nigga. Because you know what's Metro's producer beat? I mean producer thing. If Metro it's Future on it every time. If Metro don't trust you, then it's nothing or whatever, right?
He did that.
Back.
So we go.
Echoing.
Say that one more time.
Yeah, I think it was I went out. Oh, my bad. I think he said if your Metro don't trust you, we gonna shoot you.
Right.
Yeah. So that's literally your hook for your man. So what you gonna do when actually your other man go against your man that you call if Metro don't trust you, he'll shoot you. You gotta choose a side. So he chose his boy Metro.
And I don't really think Drake responded to Future because Future said some things directed to him low key. But I heard the Push Up song. He didn't really say nothing in the Future. I mean, I think people tried to associate something in the Future, but I don't think he really said nothing in the Future, me personally. I didn't hear him say nothing in the Future. So whatever the beef is, Future Drake, Aubrey is low-key staying away from it.
Over a woman.
He said a little something I thought that was the Future, but if you say it's not, it's up to you for how you predict it and how you see the lyrics, how they is. But We all heard what he said. The
You
Metro.
think that you think it's you not in the big three? You not in the big three because you think that was toward Future because Future I think he said he had that one interlude that said there's a Fantastic Four and Future's definitely in it. Do you think that was directed to him or Drake was like you not in the big three? All your charts came from me or something like that.
Nah, that one was I mean, I can see how you can see that's Future, but I took that more as the Rick Ross because I mean every number one hit Ross got besides Hustler came from this nigga Drake. Almost everyone. It was never nothing that he did by himself. He had to come with a feature almost on that mug. And I'm a Ross fan, so it hurts to say that, but
the hook.
It's Drizzy, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what line did you think came from?
For a while.
Which line did you think Drake directed toward Future?
I'm gonna have to go back and get it for you, but and he did drop it 20 niggas in that song. But I'm gonna find it before we get off this tonight, and I'll talk to you about it though. But I will let you know.
I'm excited about this about the K Dot and Aubrey beef because this is kind of what we've been kind of hitting that for a long time. I know everybody wanted a K Dot and J Cole album, but I think Kendrick sent this as like it wasn't a nuclear bomb or like a missile. It was like a flesh wound. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, I'm gonna hit your leg real quick. I'm gonna see how you respond.
That YN Melly, that line he did was a bar.
On me.
That was a bar. That man. Oh man, he had to
Hey, what he said at the end? Hey, what he said at the end? He said, "We don't want to hear you say nigga no more."
Man.
And he said it twice. Someone sung that thing. Boy, hey, Kendrick different. That's why I said. Like, I had to listen to it 3 times, man. Kendrick different. And the fact that it was like 3 different songs that basically diss Drake to. He had 3 different beats. Low key.
No, low key, he really did. Like 6 minutes straight bars. Come on, K-Dot. And then it's supposed to be 19 minutes. We probably only heard like a quarter of it.
Wow.
Come on, bro. K-Dot.
That boy said, "Have you ever had an open case?" Hey, man, I'm going to play it again, man. But I think this is like you can clearly see because some people at work were talking about it, you can clearly see people choosing sides. You know what I'm saying? They're like, "Oh no, Drake, no, K-Dot, no, Drake, K-Dot." So we can get to see how this shapes hip hop because I think this gonna shape hip hop because is being a lyricist dead or do you have to be an entertainer?
Because being a lyricist has been dead.
No, it ain't.
Because Kendrick is a lyricist, bro.
True hip hop fan.
I mean,
the true fans, but not to pop culture. You don't have to be there.
I mean, mumble rappers.
Because
we ain't worried about them. This is bars right here.
Man,
even if it's a ghostwriter, the ghostwriter about to write some bars.
You have to listen to Kendrick's song 2, 3, 4 times to capture everything he was really saying. He was really telling Drake in so many words. He even questioned his fatherhood. He was like, "Boy, I'm over here. I raising my son. I'm teaching how to pray. I'm teaching him. I'm teaching him ethics. You don't know nothing about that."
Yep, you putting braids on your son in a do-rag. Cause y'all think that's being black.
Hey man, leave that man's son alone, dog.
Ain't being black.
Leave that man's son alone,
man.
Nah, but Chris Brown did for the whole year though.
Nah, Chris Brown and Quavo.
Man,
Quavo let me down, dog. You let an R&B nigga come in and murder you, dog.
Bruh, why y'all act like Chris wasn't like that? Y'all know Chris was like that. Y'all know Chris out there throwing boxes of people in the club. He was like that.
Over women, they beefing over a woman they ain't been with in years. Both of them still. And And y'all talking about Future and Drake ain't mad. I think he got. She might have been a whole problem, but she mad of it.
She got some good over there, dog. It's been years. She still.
Now my coworker, he told me the best coochie is from an Asian or Blasian woman. He told me that. He said better than white coochie, better than full black coochie. He said Asian women got the best coochie.
He ain't had enough coochie in his life yet.
Allegedly, we know. Allegedly, we ain't gonna co-sign nothing over here.
Allegedly, shit on that, but he
allegedly
in his life. Yeah, he allegedly said it. What he said, we gonna let him stick with them words. Hey, big dog, you hear this? That's what you said. We gonna let you stick with that. Allegedly.
But I think this is good for hip hop though, Zach. I think this is gonna be, and you know Drake gonna respond, and he gonna respond with. But the question is that I have is how are you going to respond, Aubrey? Are you going to respond with lyrics, or are you going to respond doing your entertainment? That's what I want to know.
You need to come straight bars, straight headshot.
You need to come. You need to come, and don't bring that back-to-back energy because you can't bring that here. You can't bring it to this beef. Like he said, you better push T. Because he think you gonna push me? Yeah, you can't do it. You can't do it to K-Dot. Obviously, this man had did 6 minutes and 24 seconds on you and had no problem. And probably could have kept going, but I think he said, let me just end it right here. Let me see what he say back. So the question is, Aubrey, are you going to respond? You on the clock.
Hey,
now, y'all always talking about K-Dot took long. 3 weeks ain't that long. Now, if I ain't mistaken, 50 Cent in the game and that beef, sometimes it be an album, it be for each other. That may be 3 months, 4 months. So don't be trying to put no time constraint on this response.
And they were shooting at each other really though, so that was a different type of beef right there. They were really killing niggas.
I mean, yeah, they beat the songs too, but it got gangster. But Aubrey gonna get gangster. We know that. He not gonna do that with Wicked. I mean, K-Dot.
Look, in my opinion, as a Drizzy fan, I think Drake coming back with some fire. It's gonna be some fire. Like, it was some stuff
I do too.
Hear about that
I keep coming back with some fire.
Like, who was the old boy that told him not to talk about when the Pusha T battle? The dude from Houston. Can't think of his name right now, so I'm keeping my tongue. Prince J? No, what's the nigga name? Rap a lot.
Yeah, no. I think it was Prince J.
J Prince told him to chill out on that, and they stopped the beef or whatever. But I see him coming with some bars for Kanye since he want to drop that Like That remix. I see him coming back to Kendrick.
Now Kanye alone, but that Like That remix Kanye did was fire. I ain't gonna cap. It was fire.
I'm not gonna cap. It was fire. Now I see him coming back to him too.
It was good.
Ross with a little shut your ass up, little nigga.
He deleted Ye on because Ye is in that same category, low key with K-Dot. I mean, the fools they can. And Kanye can produce and spit. So I don't know if Drake has that in his arsenal.
He ran from the beef last time. He put Pusha T in.
I don't think he. I think he on his he on that like I want to beef with people energy right now. Kanye just be on his he got his his moves. He on the moves
his
right
Gemini
now.
Shit.
He on the moves right now. He you know what? I want smoke. Come on. What's up, Aubrey? And then maybe by July, he be like, you know what, man, Drake is a really good guy. I love him. Gonna squash this.
Let's go do a concert together in LA.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But right now, I'm supporting it. Right now, I'm supporting it, and I want you to keep the same energy because that Like That remix was fire. I ain't gonna cap. I was like, ooh. Ooh.
It was fire, but keep that same energy. I don't want you running from the beef later on and trying to have this man come out to LA.
I think Drake gonna come back with some. I think Drake gonna come back with some real heat. I really do think he'll come back with some real heat. But I also think Kendrick.
But where did this start at though?
Where we start at that?
Like, why did they all just jump out the gate and just start going at each other all of a sudden? I mean, I understand they've been sneak dissing, but okay, yeah, it started with Future. Y'all didn't say that.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Assembled the Avengers.
Future, man, he did We Don't Trust You album. Everybody out there, ASAP Rocky, K-Dot, Red Wrong. Who else? They all jumped up on that thing. And this day, the weekend, man, the weekend was singing in This Food.
They can't stand that Canadian, huh? What that Canadian look like? Nah, but Drake been missing for a while.
I think Joe Budden.
You heard my nigga Drake, no new friends, dog. No new friends around here. All these niggas been scheming for this.
No,
they scheming.
But Joe Budden said something about it. Joe Budden said, "Tell the truth when y'all beefing with them. Tell the truth. Tell the truth." It's about like the deals or something like that with the money or something like that. He was saying, I have to go look again. It just popped up like a couple weeks ago, and I was looking. And it was like some. It was like part of that Jewish, like Jewish ties in the music industry now. Huh? But I ain't really that investigated like that for real. So I really don't want to give nobody no misinformation. But Joe Budden had mentioned something like that, if I ain't mistaken. I know I remember seeing something like that, and I was like, dang, that's crazy. But no, I think like what you said was that with Future, I think because him and Metro so close, like Future and Metro saying he came into gang low key. You know, he come from Dungeon family out there, like and you know his uncle was one of the main people in Dungeon family. So he kind of grew up around, you know, Andre 3000, Big Boy, you know, them type of dudes. So that's why he kind of moved the way he moved. But I think, you know, he take friendship serious, and I think whatever took place between Metro and Drake, it didn't rub him right.
No, absolutely. That's why I think he got really messed up with him and Future, which it sucks for us because we never gonna get to hear that music probably for a little while.
Man, they make good songs together, boy. They make good songs together because you know you got you got good songs together.
I did hear about that also though, about how it could be Drake. He's part of a record label or something that got all the industry money, so he can supposedly stop people. If you can't see me, I'm doing the air quotations. You know, he can stop people from getting records out and stuff like that. So, I mean, hey, if he has that power, he's hating like that. That's wrong on him. But if people just mad because he got the power, that's mad wrong on them, you know?
Yeah, but so give your last thoughts on it, Shy. Give your last thoughts on it. I didn't know you didn't like Drake. Because if I'm not mistaken,
it's not that.
It was something you would look good. What was she talking about that time?
Drake got nice feet. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Drake got nice. Look, Drake is the kind of guy that you have a good time with. He gonna fly you out. He gonna buy you stuff. He gonna hit it right, and then he gonna send you home. That's the kind of dude he is. Hey man.
What she said? I know that. She was like, yeah, it looked good.
Exactly. It looked great. Drake, I would love to come to the church. And Drake, I would just say this.
You know he's coming to Houston. You're going to see him real soon.
Yeah, whenever you come, baby, I'm waiting. But, okay, so I don't have no problem with Drake. He just not my top 5. That don't mean he don't make good music. He just not in my top 5. Is he in my top 10? Possibly. He just not in my top 5.
This is an off topic right here. Who top 5 right now? Let's get into this. Who top 5?
Who top 5 for me?
Oh man, so
no order, just top 5.
Top 5 for me.
Your top 5, Shy. Your top 5, Shy.
My forever top 5 is Jay-Z, Nicki Minaj, B.I.G., Kendrick Lamar, and if I can wrap it up with one person, I don't even know. Lil Wayne, 5. That's my top 5 forever.
What you got?
My top 5. My top 5. Pimp C.
Touchdown for real.
Put out the Texas.
I gotta put Chris Brown there.
Rapper?
Artist. So rapper?
No, rapper.
Oh, rapper? Oh, rapper? Okay. So still Pimp C. Um, man, I love Future. I can't care. Future, that's my guy. That's my guy. That's my guy. Jeezy, love me some Jeezy.
Jeezy like
Uh,
Shrek.
man, I'm giving the last two tough. Ooh. Um, mm, I'm gonna go ahead and say it though, cause it's on Ti,
Okay.
and people might not like this one, but
It's your list. It don't matter who they like.
man, my last one.
Go ahead,
And I'm
speak on
tossing
who it
these
is.
two in my head. I'm tossing these two in my head. I'm gonna go ahead and say it, Zero.
Period.
Hey, you can have a
Wow,
5 A and 5 B. Put
nigga.
both in there if you want to.
That's my top five, man. That's my top five for sure.
My top 5 gonna be a little bit different than all y'all's. It gotta be Weezy. So we got one thing saying: Weezy top 5, no matter what category, who you talking to, he top 5.
Man, I wanted to put Weezy, but I jammed Lil Zero more, but yeah.
Okay, well, that's respectable. But Weezy top 5, Drake top 5. We're getting a little tough for me a little bit. Big Crit, he in my top 5. I don't care what nobody say. Big Crit. Big Crit got bars.
Ooh.
And you ain't never see that Mississippi nigga. Go listen to that Mississippi nigga. That nigga got bars.
He'll do.
Who else I got? I hate to put him in the list because he apologized, but J. Cole,
Cole.
my top 5. He got to be at the bottom of the list now because he apologized. I can't stand on that. You should have came in there with some soul, nigga.
January
I know it was
28th.
not on
January 28th. January 28th, start finish.
The last one, that's a tough one. We probably gonna change this too later, but top 5, I'm gonna go Texas. I'm gonna keep it with Slim Thugger. I'm the boss, nigga.
Oh, ooh, I forgot about Thug.
I'm the boss, nigga. I'm trying to be like
Old Power Wall, when the old Switch House though, the old Switch House, the whole gang though, the old Switch House gang though. Foes are tipping.
But I just end my little segment right now. We're gonna switch this over to Lance to get his last segment in real quick.
So I want to talk about what took place in Russia with President Putin. I don't know if you guys have been keeping up, but he went ahead and took the ancient artifacts from the church in Ukraine. Well, actually, he didn't take them. They was kind of transferred to him low key as a peace offering for the war. But there ain't gonna be no peace offering. It's just a transfer because he wants to keep the church on his side during the war. But what I found interesting was that an earlier post before he actually shared it with the world, he threatened to share what the artifacts look like. And the media went in a frenzy all over the world. Then he went ahead and just, Putin, man. He a gangster for sure. He's a warlord, don't give a damn. So he went ahead and said, boom, I got it. Y'all see it? And what was depicted was, the Christianity religion, and that was basically Jewish artifacts, but they were black. The colors were black. And it showed darker colored individuals and artifacts, even in the books. And the reason why I wanted to bring this up as a topic is because I feel like that's one thing that political figures do when it comes to history. They grab it and they try to erase it. And when I think about it, and even in our country where we live, because we live in America, Black history and the information of Black history, it's not taught in schools anymore. It's kind of glossed over and that's it. But it's not really educated. And I think artifacts are a part of history. So if we can't educate, then get to discuss history. And I think the one thing that I have kind of seen out of research and reading a lot about the history in the world is that those in power will take certain pieces or artifacts and erase it from history, therefore creating a new narrative. And I think one thing Putin did, that's why he's threatened to go ahead and I show artifacts, y'all don't leave me alone, so and so, so and so. And he really was talking to the Americans up here. He wasn't to nobody else but America key. And he did it anyway. But I think what he was doing was like, okay, since y'all want to keep playing, let me go ahead and bust the bubble. And so I kind of just want to discuss that with y'all guys to kind of, get into a more in-depth conversation about it, because this opens up a lot of conversation when it comes to history, when it comes to biblical teachings, when it comes to any traumatic historical event that was, kind of notated in literature. Did that really happen, or was it some opposite? Because it's been shown that those in power will change the narrative. And we kind of see that in our country. And so I kind of want to touch on it.
I mean, he just showed us what we already knew.
Mm-hmm.
I already knew he was black. They said the man had hair like wool.
Period.
Who got hair like wool? I ain't seen a white person with hair like wool. Who got hair like wool? This is nappy right here. This is wool. You might cut yourself with the end of this nappy. Hair like wool. We've seen people with dreadlocks. Let me change it. Don't get mad at me, y'all. We've seen people with locks. They don't look the same. They don't feel the same. Our stuff is like wool. It's thick. It's coarse. We got all types of textures now. But he ain't said nothing we ain't knew. We already knew that. We just let the white people keep telling us that lie.
Yeah.
But even though we know, though, and Sean, correct me if I'm wrong, even though we know, like, think about children, like, teenagers or kids see that, because it just don't sit well with me. And maybe it's an issue. It just don't sit well with me when you can see, we know something just because we've kind of been educated and going along, but when, and Black history is kind of, taught to us in school a little bit, but for kids now, that doesn't really happen. Like, history ain't really celebrated. They don't discuss it. A lot of kids don't know nothing about Martin Luther King, the Panthers, the first peanut butter, the who made who made the first traffic light. None of that. The kids don't really know that. They don't know really nothing about that. We know because it was taught to us in school. So to me, it's like for a kid to see that, because even when it comes to the biblical teachings and when it comes to Christianity, they love to depict Jesus to be a white man with blue eyes. And some kids, if that's how they see, that's what they're going to believe. But here goes a president of Russia who shows these ancient artifacts that have been hidden, by the way. They have not been on display. That's the key part. They have not been on display.
He knew what he was doing.
I want to make that very clear to people. They were not on display.
Yeah,
they were in the vault, and they were transferred to him. So, because he wanted the church on his side during the war. So, he went ahead and just said, I'll go ahead and show it to the world. If I'm a kid, I'm like, dang, we go to church every Sunday. Them people look like us.
Mm-hmm.
That's like a shocker. You know what I'm saying?
I remember some years, so I remember years ago when they were cutting out the noses on some of the statues because their noses were wide. And also a lot of the mummies that they discovered in Egypt and other places, they all had locks. And even though it's been, let's say, 2,000-3,000 years, whatever they put in their hair at that time, it preserved those locks. So the hair was still locked in. And that automatically will tell you what race they are. Now, I mean, of course, they could be biracial, things like that, but we all know people in that climate, white people could have not survived in that climate. White people could have not. It was too hot over there. You had to have some kind of melanin in your skin to survive over there. Why? That's hence to why white people went to cold places. Well, if you believe in that form of evolution, you believe that white people went to the mountains and cold places, the hotter places. The whole point of racism, Jim Crow, and segregation was to make us not like our blackness, was to make us feel like, they're superior to us, was for us not to love ourselves. That was the whole point. Until, when and then if you notice, once black people started to love themselves, they started saying, I'm black and I'm proud. They started doing things like that. Then they started killing those people. You know what I'm saying? So all of that was to, it's to keep us from believing that we're worth anything but being a no good N-word, basically. And for us to know that our ancestors were kings and queens, and they owned these major empires, and they had their own medicine. They had their own. I believe in the Black Panther Wakanda. I think that's a real place at one point in time. I think Africans did have modern things like that, and they still do. If you ever seen Africa from the lens of someone there opposed to TV, Africa is beautiful. These countries are beautiful. They have poor areas, but most of it is not like that. So that's what we would put into our brains growing up. And I remember when I was in college, I read the slave narratives, which is like a whole book of stories written by slaves from different centuries or whatever. And a lot of the things that they brought from Africa, they knew who they were. You know what I'm saying? And even though they knew who they were when they got here, the oppressors beat it out of them, and carried it on for generations into this day. They're still continuing to beat it out of us if they can. So, I always knew that they was black because, like I said, if you're not of melanin descent, you cannot survive in those climates. It's impossible. So I always knew they were black. And I remember, like I said, when they were talking about how the coffins that had the carvings of their faces, their noses were broken off. And they broke the noses off because the noses were wide. They were not European pointy noses. So they broke a lot of the noses off before they transferred them over to America to be put on display. If you ever go in any of these museums in America, I don't know, maybe the one in DC or some other states, a lot of their artifacts, the noses are broken off. Because they do not want you to know that they had wide noses and they had wool hair. Like, but that's my take on it.
Something you said though, Shot, that really made me even go to a deeper level of thinking.
Hold on, before you go into that, here's another point. So if you look at the new Texas history books, the ones that when we went to school, they had all the presidents back in the book, right? All the way up to the last president. If you look at the ones right now, they don't have that anymore. And they specifically removed the presidents because one of them was black. Let me just state that. So the kids now coming into middle school and all that shit, they're not going to see that because those books are gone. Now, instead of them teaching them about the Revolutionary War, Civil War, all that stuff, they're teaching them about Texas history and omitting the fact that Texas was stolen, that they stole Texas from another country and they slaughtered the people. So they're redirecting history for the kids that's coming up. But that's the end of my point.
See, they even takes me to my same point. My like I'm talking about, like a deeper level of thought that you were talking, because he took artifacts from the church, and then this is all my opinion. For anyone who's listening, this is just my opinion on how I perceive things. When I think about the Bible, it's a great book. It's a great book, but there's some books missing from the book. And also think about the various interpretations of it. And my main thing is that if the best version is the most popular version is the King James version, right? But it goes back to what Shah just said. If I'm a demographic of people, and this history in this book has the potential to educate you, empower you, teach you, uplift you, and put you in a place, in a position where you are well informed, you can make informed decisions, and you can better enhance your people. Why would I give you the correct information? Why would I, as a individual who oversees a kingdom, transcribe this and decipher it where it benefits people who don't look like me? If I'm not mistaken, is that not diplomacy? Is that not politics? Is King James not considered a politician? I mean, he is governing a kingdom. What does a president do? Govern a what? A country. So what does governors do? Yeah, so what does governors do? They govern a state. And so if I'm an individual and I'm in this position, would I not have this narrative? Would I not leave something that helps my people, not yours? And I think a lot of people forget, even in slavery, some owners who had plantations used to read scriptures out the Bible and said, the Bible says this. And we also have to remember, when people forget, the church persecuted Jesus. But the church. That's who did it. It wasn't a little random fool on the damn street. It was the church. And I always say this about, we know Judas, betrayed him for 12 pieces of silver, et cetera, et cetera. But that man's heart was so broke, he killed himself. Because he messed up. He was like, damn, I really did that.
And that's why the movie was Judas and the Black Messiah.
He was the real, he was a real, damn, for 12 pieces. Damn, why I do that? Damn. So I always think about that.
I was going to say, I think that Vladimir Putin put the information out about that because he don't like America. But I think he don't like America as forth as the government wise of America and the way we structure ourselves. And so he knew how to get the ball rolling, how to ring the bell by displaying something like that. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I think he put it out there.
And that's exactly what I was getting at. He don't fool with how we do things over here. And he basically was telling the American people they've been lying to y'all. Y'all know they've been lying to y'all. But what else they been lying to y'all about? What else you don't know? And I said it, they do it in front of our face. I mean, I don't understand how we as a society in the country don't see it. Like China just said that they don't have the presidents of damn books no more. That's crazy. I didn't even know that they don't have the presidents in a damn book. Now, and all the times I've been a damn kid in high school, middle school, elementary, they had every damn president in there. It was on the wall. They had P.W. Bush, G.W. Bush, Clinton, all day ass on the damn wall. All of a sudden now, since Mr. President Barack Obama took office, they're not in the books no more.
And
so I think it's safe to say.
And I'm just quickly. I went to the Alamo Museum in San Antonio, and there was a little kid in there, about 7, 8 years old. He was white, and the guy who was showing us around the museum and telling the story, the little kid says, "Why would they go to war? Why would the Mexico want to fight America?" And the mom said, "Because they were being bad guys." And then the instructor corrected him and said, "No, this territory, this ground he's standing on right now belongs to Mexico. The America fought those people, slaughtered them, and took their land. So this is why they had the war. It was not because Americans were just, oh, we want to come. No, they came in, they marched in, they took over. And this is why. So, and he told him the cold hard fact, and that little white boy face was stunned. And that just goes to show you, his parents are teaching him that America is the land of the great and free, and it's a privilege. And without teaching him the facts of the matter is that America is a country built off of blood, like, and slaughter. It's just the truth. But I'm done.
I'll get my little take on it then. My take on it, just to go off from what you just said just now at the end of that shot, is about what your parents teach you. I'm pretty sure like y'all's parents, my parents were the same way. They taught us that Jesus was black. They taught us all these things like this. They taught us about our ancestors and what we went through and how everything happened. Because, I mean, if you really be frank about it, shit, segregation was only 50, 60 years ago. That shit wasn't that far away. We could still be segregated, having to drink out of different water fountain than somebody else. It comes down to who is turning down the information from your ancestors and your past to the new kids and stuff like that. And if you allow them to not be able to do that, then that's where we have the situation. We can't allow a school to teach our kids what we need to teach our kids. You can't let them do that, because they ain't gonna learn everything they need to know at that school. They're gonna teach them the things they want them to know, how they can supposedly succeed in the world, but that ain't how we gonna teach our kids. And we know as African Americans and minorities in this world that we have to do a lot of things way different than other people, so we have to teach our kids a different way. And that's my take on that part. And for the Putin part, he's just being a mastermind. He's just doing what he do. He know how to push a button. He know how to get something riled up. Like he knows how to do with his BRICS currency and everything. They doing everything they can to make America as the top power drop down. They do not want America as the top tier no more. They want to come over and take over that or make everything even. So there's a fair fight with everybody instead of it always being that America just got the upper hand on them all the time.
I'm gonna say this, and this is my last comment on it though. What Putin did, he challenged the Jewish principle, because there's this notation Jews are white. And he basically was saying y'all not. The original Jews were black. He went deeper. That's when I look at what he really is. He really taunting America and the allies. Yeah, I don't fool with y'all over there.
I mean, but you gotta be
y'all over there.
You gotta be silly to think that the Jews, the original Jews, are not black. You gotta be silly to think that. Like,
oh, people do. Trust me.
Like I said, shout out to my boy Kyrie,
which is crazy. Yeah, anti-system.
Shout out my boy Kyrie.
I'm just saying, Putin basically all that anti-systematic stuff. He basically did it in their face.
Mm-hmm. It makes you think
I think
it's the wrong part of history.
Man, hey, it made me question a lot of stuff. Like I don't want to say it, but it made me question some stuff that happened a while ago. Was he really the bad guy? Or was it the other way around? Was he shit? Or was it? Because, I mean, it makes you, if you're the last person standing, you control the story.
It's always deeper than
that's what it boils down to. Yeah, it's easy to do that. And so, I think Dude is gearing up for something much. Like I keep saying, something coming, and each month something else happened that just like confirms my thoughts. Like when he did it, I was like, oh damn. Well, we'll be in World War soon, because he definitely pissed off some major powers that be, and he did it on purpose. And there was like, and there was protests against transferring the artifacts. Like they didn't want him to get it. and they transferred it anyway. And I think they had hopes if they transferred it to him that he'd chill out on going to war with them. But he still he got a mission he trying to accomplish. I mean, like I said, he's a warlord. He trying to accomplish something.
I see what you're talking about now. You're talking about the Israel thing now, so they can make a war with that.
You see what I'm saying? So he trying to accomplish.
I caught you running. I caught that.
You know what I'm saying? He trying to accomplish something. You know what I'm saying? Like I said without saying it. You know what I'm saying? He trying to accomplish something for real. And he definitely pushing. He's aligned himself with other entities that has his back, just in case things do pop off. So I mean, like I'm saying, he's being a mastermind at chess moves. But that move there was the ultimate like disrespect to some leaders, like basically telling y'all quit lying to these people. I don't fool with y'all, and this how I'm rocking. What you gonna do?
Well, shit. We keep playing around with Israel, we're gonna be in war. Cause they ain't stopping.
They ain't playing. They ready to die about it.
They ain't stopping.
They ready to die about this year. I ain't really ready to die about it. That ain't y'all
no.
anyway. If we really want to be frank, but
I got a question.
Right now.
No, way too deep. I got an off-topic question. We probably gonna have to get into it in the next session. So, since we talked about history, and et cetera, I want to bring up Adam and Eve. Do y'all think they're really companions?
Yeah, it's really what?
Companions, like husband and wife.
I don't know. I don't know if they was actually meant to do that. If it just happened because of temptation. I don't know if they was actually.
She bit that apple too, though. From what we've been told.
Temptation.
Man, I don't want to say that. I got my own little. I don't think it was companions. I don't think they was like that. I think they was like relatives. Me.
You think so?
I mean, God did make Eve out of Adam's rib, so I mean, you can't get no more relative than that.
See, that took it out of my head, man. Hey, man, that didn't pop in my head because we was over here talking about history and we were talking about Putin, and then I'm like, hey, wait, I'm still over here thinking, hey, wait a minute.
Shit get real dirty when you get looking deep,
Have we been lied to for all the lies? Have we been lied to? You dirty dog, King James.
All we is a bunch of incest babies around.
Dirty dog. It's man. I don't even think. I don't say. We ain't gonna say that. We can say that for the next one, man. We ain't got nothing. I don't even think there was a fruit involved per se.
You believe it was a snake?
We say that. Huh?
You believe there was a snake around there?
I believe the snake was what it was, but I also believe the snake. See, my mindset different now that I kind of think, but I think that there was no tree, like there was no magical fruit that it bit. I think that sexual interaction took place between the snake and Eve, because she educated Adam on being naked. If we read it for what it is, then she educated him on being naked. But I believe like it's more sexual than it is eating the fruit. I think because I think all of us are kind of like because it says the fruits of the spirit, and then I believe we are the trees that bear the fruit. Because if I plant seed inside of a woman, then she then gives birth to something that's planting seed. She's the tree. She can give birth. Then that birth is going to be fruit. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I think of it. Because I think a lot of times the things that were written in those times are kind of like paradigms. They're like concepts or parables. Like you have to decipher them in a certain way. And that's why I think it's unfair for a person like King James to write that, and then probably control the narrative and not give us a true depiction of what's being narrated. Because I question that now, thinking about it. Like, were they really? Because history is kind of been great for us, and we don't really know what took place and what didn't. And then how these discoveries take place. How we're going to Eden, like, all these different things, you know what I'm saying? And I really do believe we live in a spiritual world, and I do believe, that heaven and hell is real, and the angels once walked the earth, and they probably still do walk the earth. Fallen angels, which would then be considered demons, which would be demons. So I do believe they walk the earth. So I don't know, man. I just got questions, so they got to be a different podcast. That's like a whole hour conversation. Like, this really asking questions and just having an in-depth conversation. Because I don't know, man. And the world was born in sin. That's what it is. How could the world be born in sin if they was for each other? It can't be. And if it was born in sin, was Adam day? Was the snake?
We're going to have to get into that on the next podcast, maybe. We might need a little continue right here. So this is a little bit deeper. We might get a little banned from that one right there. That's going to get a little too deep for people.
It might have not been no snake at all.
Man, hey, that's what I'm saying, man. Like, my mind is like, I don't know, man. I'm just going to put a pause.
Look, we got most stuff to dive into, and I think everything can be, everything can be depicted. So we got more things to dive into for sure.
Man, we appreciate y'all for listening to our second episode. This is our second episode, man. We appreciate you. I love the DMs. I love the feedback that you guys provide us. Keep running up those views. You can find us on Spotify. And our email is, what email again? I keep forgetting. I need to learn it. That's on me. What's email again?
Email is going to be gemstonespodcast@gmail.com.
Please email us if you have questions, you want us to talk about certain topics, or you just want to write a letter. You want to just tell us how much you love the information we giving. We also have an Instagram handle, and I believe our Instagram handle is Jim. Is it Gemstones at Jim? What is it again?
Hey man, you fucking up.
Hey, I just said two names. I just Jim at
fucking up.
So I got the email. The email is.
You
got the Instagram handle for us? What the Gemstone Instagram handle is?
It's Gemstones on Instagram.com.
There you go. Y'all got it right.
Gemstone. So just type in Gemstones.
It's Gemstone Podcast on IG.
Gemstone Podcast on IG.
You can find us too.
On where?
On the Gemstones Instagram, you can find our pages.
Yeah, and then we have the Spotify account. And yeah. So I'm sorry, y'all. I get better with the information. I'm still trying to catch the handles. I know I act like an old man, even though I ain't one. But yeah, my apologies. But we really appreciate y'all listening, man. I'm gonna go ahead and sign off. This the game, man. We thank y'all. We want to keep giving you guys great information for our assets. So, yes, sir.
Thank you so much. Have a great night, boys and good.
All right. All right, y'all. I hit the